Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Sell Me a Movie, where today we will be going over and comparing the Firestarter, that movie that was released last week, done by Blumhouse. Best thing about Blumhouse is they like to take risks on everything, just very similar to A24, where A24 does more of an independent side. Blumhouse is actually a production company that, does heavily more on the horror side and takes risks of the horror genre. So if you have not seen both the 1984 version and then the version that just recently came out, I will let you know this video will be covering both the story plot lines as well as a comparison on both of the two, where the old 1984 version starring Drew Barrymore and then the newly released version, which stars, of course, Zac Efron and Ryan Kiera Armstrong. Now, if you don't know already, both of these movies are actually based on a Stephen King novel that he wrote. So let's go ahead and jump start into, of course, the comparison of the two. Now, we actually get a startup a little bit more of action-packed, because the thing is with movies is, unless if it's a slow burn where it leads up to something extravagant, you need something to capture the audience's attention. You need to make sure that you have something in the very beginning to get them intrigued. Now, the very 1984 version of it, you show Drew Barrymore, as well as the actor who plays her dad, is running in the streets. You don't know why they're running into the streets until, later on you find out that they're running from somebody, an experimental program. I'm not sure if it was government-based or not, but they're running away due to experiments. Where this version kickstarts off with kind of a dream sequence from, Zac Efron, who's playing the dad, and he puts a little girl into the crib and they walk away, him and his wife, and he comes rushing into the room because he smells and he sees fire, of course relating to her ability to start fires, basically. Now, it's a strong introduction for the actual film itself, where on one side you don't know exactly why they're running, on the other side it's going to be about her abilities. Now, the thing is as far as the two dads in both movies, 1984 and this one, 1984 one, it just seems like the character was there for more of a comedic side, very cheesy aspect. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing really comedic that he was trying to portray, as he was trying to portray seriousness. It just came off rather cheesy. Whereas Zac Efron, it was very much an emotional state of a father trying to protect his family. So on this side, I do prefer the Zac Efron character because of that character aspect, is he plays more of a father in the realm of seriousness. Now, the 1984 version, the dad does have super abilities, just like how the dad, Zac Efron's character, does have super abilities in this one. The difference is the old version, I don't remember if he bled through the eyes whenever he used it, but in this movie, it tells you that he's actually experiencing hemorrhages to the brain whenever he tries to use his ability. And the reason for Zac Efron trying to be the father that says no, his daughter cannot use the powers because they're dangerous, but also he doesn't want to have that same effect go to her, where she's experiencing hemorrhages and bleeding through the eyes and stuff like that. So it's very relatable in that aspect. The thing is with the old one, though, you start off with them running. You find out later that, of course, it's with the experimental program, but you don't know about the mom until through flashbacks. And you don't really get to know a lot about the mom through the movie in the 1984 version, where in this version, the newer version, you actually spend time with her. You see the family dynamic, as well as the fact that the tension that it brings with them always running. Where in the older version, she was kind of just there, and spoiler alert, when she dies in the older version, there's no emotional feeling towards it because you didn't have enough, time to relate to that character, to get to know that character. I'm not saying that her dying wasn't tragic, because, let's face it, every death is tragic. But in the newer version, you have time to, create that relationship with that character, where the older one did not. The other thing, too, is in the older movie, they do get captured, and there's a lot of chunk of the time that is spent on the experimental side. on the Drew Barrymore's version of the actual character, which is fine. And, you see that scientific aspect of that sci-fi version of it. But it kind of plays to a line where it's just very mediocre and very just subpar, really. Where in this version, Zac Efron is the one that gets captured, and his daughter tries to save him. So there's difference in that as well. The other thing too is, the progression of the character is a lot better with Drew Barrymore's versus the progression of this one. The newer version, she has a superpower ability, she uses it, but there's not much growth into knowing her abilities because it just happens so fast, and it feels like it's just missing something, where in the older one, you see the progression of her abilities and then getting stronger. So really, the only best thing about this movie, in my opinion, in the newer version, is John Carpenter being the composer. Very 80s, very horror-based, like Halloween, like The Thing, very his realm. That's probably the best part about the movie, is John Carpenter and his wife's composure, as far as the music aspect goes. And, you can just listen to that. It's very reminiscent of the old Halloween movie, and that's what I thoroughly enjoyed about it. But altogether, both movies were okay. Really, if you want more of a classic feel to the horror, then definitely the 1984 version versus the newer version. But if you just want something to watch and get a little Stephen King fix, then yeah, the newer version's fine. It's not the best Stephen King film adaptation. Obviously, both the old version and new version are amazing. Pet Sematary, the newer version, is, it's okay, but it's better than this version of Firestarter, versus the old Pet Sematary, which is a lot better. It just feels like they added some Hollywood to it and not enough book to it. But, just let us know what you think. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it? Have you seen both of them? What is your opinion about it? Leave a comment down below. Hit subscribe. And if anything, if you like what we do, if you want to support us in any way, the link to our website is down below. So give that a click, because, we're here to produce entertainment for you guys. So again, follow us on social platforms, follow us on the podcast where you listen to any podcast in general, as well as our YouTube. All you have to do is look up Cavalier Family and you'll find it right there. So with that, brings the video to the end. Be on the lookout for our next video, which goes over the new Top Gun movie. Take care.